I'm working on a 06 CRF 450R, and I'm installing a set of All Balls Racing swing arm bearings. When you first get the swing arm up here, what you're going to do is grab a flathead screwdriver and you're going to pick all the seals and washers out, and they'll come out just like that. And then what you're going to do is use a 21 millimeter socket and a 3-inch extension, and you're going to pound out the bearings and they'll fall out the bottom. After you get your old bearings out, you're going to clean this up as best as you can, get all the grime out of it. And then after you get it cleaned up and you're going to put the new bearings in, you're going to grease it up first. Just put a thin coat in there, it doesn't have to be a ton right now. We got our new bearing, and with the font out, there's some letters there, just the model of the bearing. You're going to put that toward you. Alright. Then I got a 1/2-inch piece of all thread here, and I got a large washer we'll put on here, and that goes through the top. And I got another large washer, goes on the bottom. We'll put a nut on there and tighten that up. You want to make sure everything is centered up. That way it pushes in this bearing straight on. We got wrenches on top and bottom, and we'll tighten this thing down. And eventually your washer is going to hit the outside of the swing arm here. At that point you're going to stop, loosen it all up, back off the nut. Now you can see you got the bearing pressed down in there, and it's flush with the outside of the swing arm here, but we got to get it all the way in. So what you can do is switch over to your 21 millimeter socket, so it's sitting right on that bearing. You put your all thread through there. Actually, put your washer on first. Through the bearing, thread your all thread through to the other side so you can get the other washer and nut on. We're going to start tightening this down. You're going to tighten this down until it's flush with the inside lip there. From my angle I can see the top of the bearing, and I'm just going to push it down until it's flush with that lip inside. Alright, it's flush in there. Back everything off. Alright, now we need to pack our bearing with grease. You want to put as much in there as you can. Make sure those are good and packed. Alright, We got our first washer that's got to go in, and I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the one side of this. Alright, I'm going to put the side that I just greased toward me, because I already got a bunch of grease in there to grease the other side. Now with this All Balls racing kit, what they've done is they've upgraded to what they call as a POM composite thrust race, or actually thrust bearing. And what your old one looks like is like it has like needle bearings in there around the circumference of the washer there. This new one here, it's like I said, it's just some type of composite. This is used on heavy equipment where in areas that don't get greased a lot, so it holds up a lot longer. And we're going to put some grease on that guy. And there's little holes in this, and I'm just making sure they're packed. Alright, I'm going to put the yellow side down. I'm going to grease the other side of it a little bit. Then another washer goes on top of that. Put more grease on that washer. At this point here, you want to make sure you pack in grease along the outside cracks. Get it all pushed in there. Alright, now we have our outside seal and this spacer that goes in there. So I'm going to pack this with grease too. Alright, after I got that packed, I'm going to lay that in there and push it in. Alright, now that's in there. Now on the bottom side, there's another seal. You need to pack that with grease. Come to the bottom here and it fits right in there. You just shove it up in there. Alright, now when you get this kit, it comes with 3 different collars. The 46 millimeter collar goes on the chain side of the swing arm, which I already did the chain side, so that 46 millimeter collar is already in. And on the brake side, it gets the 54 millimeter collar. So then I'm going to take and grease up the collar here. This is going to go on the brake side. Insert that from the bottom there. It slides right up in there. And when you push it up, make sure you don't push out your top seal and spacer. Alright, and that's it. It's ready to get put back on the bike.